appointed to Cincinnati Health Commissioner. His tenure of 13 years ranked him as the second longest serving health commissioner since 1860, before the Civil War. He is the former president of the U.S. Conference of Local Health Officers and a member of the American Public Health Association, the Cincinnati Medical Association, lifetime member of the NAACP, lifetime member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity, lifetime member of the University of Michigan Alumni Association. Dr. Broadnax is 33rd degree Mason and is involved in many other professional and social organizations. Dr. Broadnax currently serves as the consultant of public health and community health organization and administration and community economic development. He volunteers in many organizations. He is the president of Mount Auburn Community Council, vice president of Mount Auburn Chamber of Commerce, and chairman of the board of Taft Elementary Schools, LSDMC. Chairman of the Community Development Committee for the Uptown Consortium, and he is also a member of the First Church of God, where he serves on the Board of Trustees, choir director, and church facility manager. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to give a round of applause for the induction of Dr. Stanley Broadnax.
Good evening. My name is Sidney D. Broadnax, Jr., and it's my sincere honor to accept this award on behalf of my brother, Dr. Stanley Broadnax, who is currently in a hospital recovering from a lower back surgery. But he asked me to read the following statement. First, giving honor to God and expressing greetings to the school principal, administration, teachers, staff, alumni, and past alumni. I want to express special appreciation to the Taft High School Athletic Hall of Fame Alumni Committee for selecting me for this very special designation as a member of the Athletic Hall of Fame. It is with great humility that I accept this honor. However, I want to acknowledge that the work to accomplish all of these goals in my career has been inspired by many people, including team members, coaches, teachers, members of the West End Community Council. I am thankful for the team members with whom I spent many hours, weightlifting, running many miles, practicing on athletic fields, and we all struggle to perform our best for Taft High School. While there are many people who was encouraged and motivated me, I would like to mention just a few. First, my parents, Rebecca and Sidney Broadnax, who provided a loving Christian home with firm spiritual support and who's instilled in us an ethics of hard work to achieve any desired goals and the principles of helping others. Second person I would like to thank is my oldest brother, which is me. And he mentioned about, and I have to say this, I am a graduate of the class of 55 at Old Woodward. And many of you that graduated in 56 and 57 from Taft was at Old Woodward, so I got to mention that. Thank you. The last person I would like to acknowledge is my dear friend, Carl Ward, who received a football scholarship in 1963 to the University of Michigan, the year prior to me. While all of the colleges around the country was looking at Carl, they saw me making many of the holes for him to score numerous of touchdowns. You have to put that in there, you know that. It was because of him I made the decision to attend the University of Michigan. I'm thankful that when I began my college career at Michigan, Carl took me under his wings as his little brother and helped me adjust to the going from a small school of 600 students at Robert E. Taft High School to 40,000 at Michigan that had a stadium that seated over 100,000. He nurtured and guided me to make sure I didn't get lost in the shuffle. In conclusion, I want to say again, thank you to the Taft High School Athletic Hall of Fame Association for this special honor. And most of all, I want to give glory to God for all the things that He has allowed me to do. Thank you very much. And with this family, please stand. Family, Broadnax family, please stand.
All right, our next inductee, Crystal Clark. Crystal is the fourth child born to Deborah Clark. She is the youngest of her family, and she has a twin brother. Crystal was told she was a failure and would never make it out of high school. She knew all the odds was against her, not only in sports, but in the class as well. She began working harder in the classrooms, and as her grades so did her basketball career at Taft. With the loving support of her mother, family members, and mentors, Crystal set out to prove them all otherwise. She was a gym rat. She loved the game of basketball, which is evident by the work ethic and the improvement in her skills every year. She was called the Energizer Bunny because she never got tired during the game. Oh yeah, and did I mention that she had a little shake and bake in her game and was not afraid to show her skills and excite the crowd. She excelled in all sports and played all sports except for football at Taft, ironically. Crystal learned that attitude will determine your altitude, and that's when she set the right attitude that nothing was out of reach. Each year, she led the basketball team in scoring, blocks, steals, and rebounds. She was the first and only female to excel on 16 teams during her 4 years here at Taft High School as a student athlete. Crystal, a point guard, 5'8", excelled in basketball, track, and volleyball, and during her basketball career at Taft, she was able to do it all on the court, rebound, shoot, and defend. She finished her 2004 record with Taft with a total of 213 points, averaging 13.3 points a game. After graduating Taft High School, Crystal went on to play at Division III College of Mount St. Joseph, where she studied graphic design. She was also one of the trailblazers that will never be forgotten in the sisterhood of Taft basketball. Crystal currently lives in Cincinnati with her 2 kid sons, Raymond and her daughter, Rising Sun. Her accolades, honestly, they're too long to mention. I need wallpaper to list these all. Crystal went on to play overseas in Germany and Spain and had a phenomenal career. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Crystal Clark.
I wasn't prepared to speak. But first, I'd like to thank God, my mom, Deborah Clarkston, my 2 strong mentors that's sitting right there, Miss Jan and Mr. Ron, my great coach, Coach Craig. I was one of the kids that everybody told would never make it. I beat the odds. Basketball was not just my goal. It helped me in life. It helped a lot of us. When we first got to Taft, it was known as a school that nobody wanted to attend. By the time we was in our junior year, it was a school that everybody wanted to be. Everybody wanted to attend it. I look at it now, it's excelling. I'm so proud of the programs. Look, I'm nervous. I remember my mom always yelling at me, come in the house, come in the house. Gotta work, Mom, gotta work. This is our dream to get you out the hood. I used to stay on the court hours at a time, working on my jumper, dribbling, getting told you will never make it. So actually being the first girl to be nominated in my class is amazing. Thank you.
Our next inductee, Rhonda Cream, class of 1988. Rhonda's first coach was her father, who taught her boxing. Then I guess he taught her the game of baseball, and she played on her father's Bad News Bears team as a second baseman. She was one of 2 girls on an all-boys team, and Rhonda's mother, although not an athlete, instilled in her to do her best, serving not man, but serving God. Rhonda's grandmother made her believe that she can do anything she wanted to do and excel in all sports, but basketball was her very first love. Rhonda played many games of hard-nosed street ball with people in her community, including her cousin, Damon Ridley. And how many of you know that Damon went on to represent the United States in the 1988 Olympic boxing team? Oh, that's Dante. Okay, I got them mixed up. Oh, Damon Ridley. Matter of fact, Damon played for me when I was a head coach up here. Okay, it's been a while. It's been a while. She left Washburn and went to school for the creative performing arts in the 5th grade and ceased playing basketball at the school due to SCPA not having any sports. So during the 8th grade year, she attended President Drive Learning Center, a private Christian school. And there, she picked up playing organized basketball again, averaging 28 points per game. Rhonda then enrolled in the Robert A. Taft High School her sophomore year and started varsity as a point guard for Coach Redmond. Her junior and senior year, she was coached by Coach Fred Hunt while at Taft, and Rhonda played varsity volleyball, basketball, and softball. She also received MVP, first team all honors in basketball. She excelled academically at Taft, graduating in 1988, serving as the vice president, and earned her honors as salutatorian of her class. There's a lot of other descriptions to read, but I'll close by saying Rhonda then came back and served as a head girls basketball coach here at Taft, coaching her team to a 28-2 record the following season, making Taft's girls basketball program the standing to be in the city while earning several coaching awards. And as a matter of fact, Crystal played for you, didn't she? So without further ado, introduce you to Rhonda Cream for the 2015 Taft Athletic Hall of Fame induction. Rhonda Cream.
What an honor. Thank you so much for everyone who nominated me, Coach Mr. Hunt. I just thank everyone for this opportunity. First, I want to give honor to God for everything that I am, everything I will be, and everything I have achieved. This was a hard place to come for me today because I'm like, really? Honored for what? For doing God's work is what I feel like. And so I feel like I'm not finished, and so this is really hard for me. If I coach basketball, I talk all the time to my girls, so this is very difficult for me. I want to acknowledge people in my life that made me who I am. My dad, he's the first Coach Craig, and I'm the second Coach Craig in the generation. So, Dad, I thank you and I appreciate you for all that you have done, even when you made me run like a boxer when I was a basketball player. I appreciate that. And if anyone knows about boxers, they run in the morning, they run long hours. I'm a basketball player, we don't have to do all that, but he did that. So I'm sure my girls' basketball team appreciates that upbringing for me. I also want to thank my mother, who always taught me to not half-step. That if you're going to do anything, you do it to the glory of God and give your best. And that didn't mean if I was sweeping floors, if I was playing basketball, if I was singing, even though I have a horrible voice, that I appreciate that she always said never to half-step. Then the other special person in my life is my grandmother, who at one time when I was growing up in the West End and Parktown and playing basketball with all the guys and my cousin and things like that, they made fun of people like myself and would say, you're just a tomboy, she's just a tomboy. And I remember running home and being very confused and crying and running to my grandmother, and my grandmother, I didn't know if she played sports or not. She cooked well, I didn't know anything about sports. and ran to her house and crying, and she said, baby, what's wrong with you? I said, Grandma, they keep calling me a tomboy. They keep calling me a tomboy. And she said, baby, do you know what that means? And I'm saying this story just to tell people when you reframe something for someone, it changed my entire life. She told me, she said, Rhonda, you know why they call you a tomboy? I said, no, ma'am. She said, the definition of a tomboy is a girl that just plays sports better than boys. So when she gave me that definition, all hell broke loose on all the guys that talked about it. So I appreciate my grandmother giving me that reference, giving me that foundation that instead of like many girls will kill themselves or say something and say, I'm not as good as anyone else, that I felt good about myself and that I had a family that supported me in doing that. I come from a long history of family members that supported me, but I can't go away without thanking my aunts and uncles that are out there that supported me and that went before me and actually gave me encouragement. I also would like to thank coming back. When I came back to Taft, I never thought, and I know from Cincinnati, I went away to University of Akron up there by Cleveland, and like I told my mother, I was never coming back to Cincinnati. And so I thought I was going to California. Actually, I thought I was smarter than my father, who thought that I should play basketball in college. I told him, no, I'm not playing basketball in college. I played for you for 4 years. I'm done playing basketball. I'm smart. I can go anywhere I want to go. So I went on and thought I was going to Tuskegee with my friends. And then this thing called money, I didn't have. I had some academic scholarship, but it didn't pay for school. So my dad was actually smarter than me. But by that time, I had lost all the scholarships, all the recruits that were coming in for me to play. I went on and played anyway because I loved the game. And in the summertime, a coach recruited me and said, hey, I want you to come. I said, can you talk to my dad? And they actually offered me a full scholarship on the spot. And I say that to say that was nothing but God. Because anybody know about recruitment, you get those scholarships way in advance, and God actually made a way. When I came back to Cincinnati, I left and came back about 10 years later. My mother passed away in 1998. And I remember sitting on the couch, looking at history of Taft and knowing how great Taft was for me. And looking at all the news and saying how many girls, how many people were dropping out of school. And how that upset me. And I remember God speaking to me in a little voice saying, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? And at that time, I'm saying, what do I have to offer? And he said, you know, the game of basketball. And so I put my hat in, put my resume in, called people, no one's calling me back. And then this young guy who came on stage just previously, Mr. Roselle, came, and I got to sit in his office, and he got to tell me all the woes of Taft and all the reasons why I do not want to coach at this school at this time, because he knew where I came from. He said, Rhonda, girls are not going to come to practice. They're not going to do this. You're going to be mad, so you might, you know, this is going to be a hard case for you. I said, Mr. Roselle, just give me the job. And he said, okay, it's yours. And I'm sure he laughs out loud right now that it was yours. And I had a bunch of girls who people would say were nobodies. And I saw in them that they were a child of God. And I felt that if I continued to work and give my effort, then God would plant the seeds. At that time, our first year, we were like 2-28. It was a crazy year, but all I kept telling we're going to build. And like Crystal said, we went from that to being a team that everyone wanted to be there. And everyone, if no one knew it, we were called the sisterhood, because we believed in that we build each other, we're going to lift each other up, and we're going to depend on each other. With that, we had a mentoring group with that, and we had some of my best years were at Taft, and it was some of the great times that I had. I want to thank my godmother, Miss Dukes, and if you hear her voice, you will hear it over any horn that you ever hear, for everything that she does to give me, to keep me right in my life now. And I want to thank my 2 kids. We got Kennedy and Darius out there. I appreciate you guys. And I want to thank all the alumni, and like me, I still bleed green and gold. And so I want to leave by saying, my Taft, O Taft, and T-A-F-T. One more thing, Mr. Henderson and Mr. Smith, thank you so much. Mr. Henderson, thank you for throwing keys in the hallways to make sure we get to class on time and rat me out to my mom that I skipped class. I appreciate that.
Right, our Our next inductee is a class of 1961, Mr. Charles Jenkins. Charles Jenkins was born in 1943 in the West End. He attended St. Henry's Catholic School for 8 years, then Bloom Junior High School 1 year, and 3 years at Robert A. Taft High School, graduating in 1961. He played for the 1961 championship team that won the PHSL championship. Also in the same year, Robert A. Taft won track and field, football, and baseball. Jenkins led the Senators in rebounding and block shots. Jenkins received an athletic scholarship from Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. Majoring in industrial arts education, he played basketball 1 year reserve and 3 years varsity. Playing center and forward, he led the team in rebounding and block shots. Sports Illustrated named Jenkins a little Bill Russell for his jumping ability. Coach Schurter called his senior center, Charlie Jenkins, the best pivot man around. Also mentioned Jenkins coming from Robert A. Taft High School. In 1965, Jenkins was drafted by the Baltimore Bullets. He played in Spain for 2 years and was drafted into the Army and started on the All-Army team. He received honorable discharge. Jenkins taught at Aiken High School for 3 years.